I am amazed to know how much similarity we all have despite coming from different cultures. So, you've always heard of the spiritual roots of India. I am going to take you to the cultural roots of India. I was born and raised in India in a conservative Hindu family. It was one of the families that looked progressive from the outside, but were still trapped by many repressive traditions. So, this is their way of showing love and care. I am not blaming anyone, but pointing out how it impacts people like me when people are hypnotized by outdated social conditioning and impose it blindly on some of us who are more open to spiritual path. So there is a lot of diversity in India, but overall culture is the same. I'm speaking from what I directly perceived and experienced. My immediate family didn't follow any strict religious practices daily, and there were no spiritual or deep philosophical discussions either. They did perform ritualistic prayers on some significant holy days. I picked up on the concept that the one supreme source is called Ishwar, but there are thousands of Devis and Devatas, which is all referred to as gods and goddesses, but they are all different forms of that one God. You worship one or more of the deities that your family has chosen to worship. But people in general have immense respect for all the sages, enlightened masters, saints, whether they're males or females, it doesn't matter. There's equal reverence. Now, it's part of everyday conversation that everything is God and everything is to be treated as sacred, that we have to be grateful for everything, animate, inanimate. But despite all of this, none of this explained what I saw or felt. I occasionally felt a heart-wrenching feeling of some force far away yearning for me out of love and calling me to it, like, come here, come to me. Why are you separate from me? I didn't understand that. You can say I was in love with love, but that was dangerous for the parents. Who is she in love with? You're only allowed to love your husband. Otherwise, everyone will shun you. So I was writing profuse love poetry. It was just coming out of me. And that was taken as a sign of rebellion and a great matter of shame. I also had heightened senses. I could feel the minor earthquakes a day before they actually happened. I would ask my family if they felt an earthquake. They hadn't, but it would show up in the following day's newspaper. That was also scary for the family. Who will marry a crazy person like this if she keeps acting like this? I would see auras and energy fields around people and trees. I literally thought everyone saw them the same way as I did. I questioned the meaning of life and the order of things. I would wonder, what determines where a person lives? It can't be just accidental. What determines how many siblings I should have? And who comes first and who comes second? People habitually refer to past lives and rebirth, reincarnation. But it seemed like no one truly understood that concept. I say that because since I was a little child, I had innate knowledge about reincarnation. I remembered 3 of my lifetimes as a male and female in different parts of the world and other cultures. I knew that our lives have lessons and challenges and that we have to put forth effort, willing effort, to transform and transcend, to break out of this life and death cycle. I also knew that there is no automatic escape from lessons by dying. If you don't deal with the lessons, you will face them worse next lifetime. I felt I was all powerful, but I was here to learn wisdom to use my power wisely. And when I say I believed that was true for everyone. I was aware that my current family was not always my family. And I didn't feel a deep attachment to my family. As a little child, I saw people mourning the birth of a girl. So this is some of the sad part of the culture. Her birth or her birthdays were not a celebration. So many girls are aborted or killed after birth. She's considered a lifelong burden. The moment she's born, the family starts grooming her and conditioning her for marriage. Families believe it's their God-given sacred duty to get their children married and find a suitable match through an arranged marriage. Parents have the burden of spending their resources to find a groom for her. There is massive pressure from the groom's family to give the bride a significant dowry on demand. This dowry giving is not a one-time affair. The girl's family has to keep providing for her for the rest of her life. As you can imagine, it puts tremendous lifelong financial stress on the family. Groom's family has very high expectations of what they're looking for in the bride. They expect to find a pure, charming, pretty, sweet, self-sacrificing girl who should be able to keep everyone happy. She must keep peace in the house, even if that means she bears abuse. She should be adept in all household chores while looking after the entire family, including her in-laws. They tell her she must deliver at least one son and bear as many children as the in-laws want. She's just not encouraged to have a mind of her own. That's a dangerous thing. She has to follow the religious practices of her husband's family, regardless of what her own family followed or observed, or what she has followed or observed with them. Girls' education was not important at all. Education was simply to keep her busy until she was married off. If a suitable match is found, she's to be married as soon as possible. I saw girls being married off at age 12, and I had similar pressure on me. The family will resort to any action to condition her to the cultural expectations. Families have a tremendous crippling fear of a ruined reputation, of being negatively judged by society and ostracized. It's obviously a considerable burden to train her to be submissive to all men and all future in-laws. Her value is to be nothing except in her family service before marriage and after marriage. She has to have no life outside of her family. A child, especially a girl child, showing any signs of behavior that does not comply with these conditions is a devastating threat to the family. All the alarm bells go off. The girl is out of control. Quick, rein her in, else she will destroy the family's honor. Who will marry her? This is this quintessential question, always ringing in the air. Who will marry her? She is told that once she's married, there is no returning home. Her life hangs between father, male elders, brother, husband, son, and her in-laws. She has to live and adapt to their dictates. So ironically, the same family that will worship female deities or female saints will groom the girls to be less than human beings. This gap between the journey of a normal girl child to her path of self-realization faces an almost impossible opposition. I didn't know at that time that I was also a highly sensitive empath in addition to being spiritual. I grew up feeling like a burden, unwanted, uncared for, and unsafe. I lacked self-confidence. I felt judged and criticized for everything. I felt I wasn't good enough. I was not lovable, and I had no human rights. I was extremely shut down and didn't express my feelings or shared my thoughts. I had no concept of healthy boundaries, which also caused plenty of suffering. But despite all that, the passionate burning to find the deeply profound answers to life never faded away. Luckily, over the years, my parents started visiting different saints for their blessings for a trouble-free life. That's pretty common reason why people visit saints. Being a girl, I had to tag along with them everywhere they went. So it turned out in my favor that I got to visit and receive blessings from many, many saints. I'm so grateful for that. Eventually, one day, when I met my guru, a perfect yogi, Swami Mohandas Ji Maharaj, I felt love pouring out of him, the kind I had not experienced before through any human being. I got the courage to ask him a couple of questions. He told me that all the answers I seek are within me, and I should experience them for myself. It quietly ignited the spiritual quest even more in me. So eventually, I moved to the USA. My family had great reverence for my guru, and because of my guru, I had the courage to keep pursuing my spiritual path. However, I did it silently and secretly while outwardly following all the cultural expectations. Didn't want to rock that boat. Since then, more so, I've had a range of spiritual experiences, like spiritually transformative experiences, out-of-body experiences, synchronistic events, and whole lot of what people would term as paranormal or extraordinary. I had many visitations by the higher beings in different human forms to help me and guide me when I needed them. I believed it happened because I didn't have any other resources around me and I didn't feel safe discussing anything. So I had my most spiritually transformative experience while driving my car. It's been published by IANDS also. It was right here in USA, in Texas. During this experience, I had no awareness of my physical reality. I was zooming through space, soaking in divine love. I experienced that I was one with the source. Aham Brahmasmi, as is said in Hinduism. It said, Aham Brahmasmi Tat Tvam Asi, which means, I am that, and so are you. And that cosmic me wanted to experience and express itself through mini-me in this human body. So I did learn that all of us are one, and each one of us is the center with no circumference, and that we are all experience our cosmic self and expressing our cosmic self in our human journey. So subsequent to that experience, I left my IT career to practice energy healing and to share my spiritual perspectives. My guru validated all my experiences and also instructed me to keep following my spiritual practice quietly. In 2011, however, he told me to share my spiritual experiences publicly. Along the way, I attended IANDS community meetings. I felt like I found my tribe where I could learn to express myself. It has helped me to assimilate and integrate my spiritual experiences and continue my healing from traumas. I want to raise awareness that even though cultural traditions are great for the functioning of society, because it does bring a level of stability, predictability, and psychological comfort, but it cannot bring you to your existential divine truth. So the question I want to ask is, do we want to settle for temporary comfort or find the solution to a permanent blissful existence? I find it interesting that my spiritual journey started in India, but I realized the true essence of Hinduism is a popular name, but the essential name is Sanatan Dharma. that I found the essence of it right here in USA. And I'm so blessed to be with this IANDS community. Namaste.